AC 24/7, I'm Rachel Smith. As the war between Israel and Hamas intensifies, incidents of anti-Semitism are on the rise in the U.S. The Advocate Channel's Gloria Pazmino reports.
It's become a common occurrence across school campuses and some communities around the country. Messages of hate scrawled across walls and online, memorials destroyed. The increasingly tense rhetoric and protests following the war between Israel and the Palestinian group Hamas, raising concerns about a rise in anti-Semitism.
This is a threat that is reaching, in some ways, sort of historic levels.
Patrick Day, a 21-year-old student at Cornell University, was arrested Wednesday in connection with a series of anti-Semitic threats he allegedly made against Cornell University's Jewish community.
You're making threats on this random website. Why would you do that? And I think it's really ridiculous.
The threat prompted fear among students.
I really think that it's an attempt to tear us apart. I don't want to be torn apart. I don't want to look at my fellow classmate and think that's my enemy.
It's not just happening in New York. This display outside the University of Minnesota's Jewish Student Center in Minneapolis, showing the faces of Israelis taken hostage by Hamas last month, was also damaged. And in Pittsburgh's historically Jewish Squirrel Hill neighborhood, residents spotted graffiti reading "Death to America, Free Palestine, and I Stand with Gaza," painted at a condo complex on Tuesday.
We're really horrified when this is happening in our own backyard.
In New York, I'm Gloria Pazmino.
Well, former President Donald Trump is trying to stop an effort to keep his name off the ballot in Michigan. An advocacy group is arguing that the 14th Amendment should keep his name off. The Civil War-era amendment forbids officials who have engaged in insurrection from taking an oath to uphold the Constitution. It's only been used twice since the 1800s. Similar disputes are underway in both Colorado and Minnesota. Meantime, the Supreme Court is hearing a case about whether a suggestive phrase targeting the former president's anatomy can be trademarked. A political activist tried to register "Trump Too Small" as a slogan for t-shirts. The Patent and Trademark Office refused because federal law bans a trademark if it identifies a living person without their written consent. This case tests the limits of the First Amendment, and in recent years, the justices have struck down various parts of the trademark law. Billionaire Elon Musk has ignited a flurry of criticism with his misinterpretation of gender-related terminology in a post on X where he wrongfully associated the term cisgender with a, quote, heterosexual slur. He continued the post with, quote, "The word cis is a heterosexual slur. Shame on anyone who uses it." According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, cisgender refers to an individual whose gender identity corresponds with the sex the person was identified as having at birth. Well, cell phone usage could impact sperm count, according to a new study. It found men between the ages of 18 and 22 who use their phones more than 20 times a day had a higher risk for a low sperm count and low sperm concentration. Men who use their phones 1 to 5 times a day or less had much higher sperm counts and concentration. Male sperm count has fallen by more than 50% globally in the last 50 years. Well, there is still a wealth gap between white Americans and Black and Hispanic Americans, and it may be growing. According to a new report, typical Black households came in just shy of $45,000 last year. Hispanic households were at $61,000. That's a growth rate of 61% and 47% respectively from 2019. Now, white household value only grew 31%, but the worth was more than double at $285,000. Now, very little of this change is due to income. Instead, Black and Hispanic families saw their values increase because they tend to have larger mortgages. And this study also says inflation cut that value of debt significantly. Well, thanks so much for being with us for AC 24/7. For more, go to theadvocatechannel.com and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. For the Advocate Channel today, I'm Rachel Smith. Take care.